I still remember the day I found out I was pregnant, like it was yesterday. I was in the office and I felt so shaky and weird at the time, and I thought that I haven't even had coffee yet. However, I knew there were times that I wasn't careful, so I knew that there could be a possibility that I was pregnant. So I went to the shop and got myself a pregnancy test, and it actually came out positive. I was trying to process it, but I didn't know how to feel. So much has happened in the last 6 years that I don't really know where to start. So I've asked some of my friends and family to ask me some questions about motherhood, and that's what I'm going to be answering today. So the first question is, how has your perspective of motherhood changed now that you're actually one? I realized how entitled I was growing up with what I expect of a mother. I didn't realize the extent of responsibility and how that changes someone's life. I was coming from a selfish point of view whereby I should get this and that and my mom should do this and that, not fully considering the factors of her life and how she's just trying to make do of what she has and what she can. I was so idealistic that I didn't realize the magnitude of changes a mother has to adjust to, learn and balance so far. This is a different setting today. My camera died last time, so yeah. Anyway, continuing on to what I said last time, although I now have a better understanding of the other side, it doesn't mean I accept certain things. What's wrong is still wrong. However, as a mother, I can now give more grace to those mistakes. And also, I don't focus on the mistakes so much anymore. If anything, I wish that I could have been that friend that she needed at the time. But yeah, that's what I learned now that I'm a mom. The next question is there any advice you can give to new moms? On the first few months, one of the quotes that really helped me was that they're not making it hard for you, they're having a hard time. That really shifted my perspective, especially when you're a new mom. You hardly have any sleep and you're facing a lot of significant changes, not just for yourself, but also for the child that you're responsible for. Hardly getting any sleep and combining that with everything else, with all your responsibilities, can be really overwhelming. And having that thought in mind, when things get hard, I focus more on what my baby needs and not how difficult the situation was. Also, another thing that I would advise you is to focus on one task at a time. If you need to feed the baby, if you need to change the baby, focus on that and don't think of all the other things that you need to do. And if you make a mistake, it's fine, do it again. Try give yourself grace. Don't be so hard on yourself. When you're going through a lot of changes, it can be easy to be emotionally driven, and when you find yourself in that state, try as much as you can to step back and sit down if you need to and regulate your emotions as much as you can. And when you're done with each task, if you have time, try to take time for yourself as well. Literally every little helps when you're a mom. Go get a cup of tea. If you just want to sit down and do nothing for a few seconds, do that. Whatever you think that will help you feel better again, do that. And if there's someone that could help you, it's okay to ask for help. It doesn't mean you're any less of a mom if you ask for help or if you make a mistake. It's okay. You're learning and you will definitely get better at it over time. So yeah, that's my advice to new moms. What is the most rewarding and painful part of being a mom? I think one of the most rewarding part of being a mom is witnessing their milestones. I remember one of the first ones that really got to me was Mia smiling at me. I know it's like so little, but so nice at the same time. I remember I was holding her and then she looked at me and just smiled. Just little things like that. And obviously witnessing all of the other milestones that she's had. And I'm looking forward to other milestones in the future. But also the painful part is realizing that they're growing up so fast. Sometimes as a mom, you get engrossed with all your responsibilities, and sometimes that can really take you out from being present with your child. It kind of almost slipped before your eyes, and then you suddenly realize that they're bigger and now she's talking to me. I kind of almost wish that I have longer time for those periods in her life. It's a fine line between pain and happiness. Yeah, I'm not sure about what other moms feel, but that's how I feel. Do you believe if you truly enjoy something, you will always find the time? Or do you think being a mother has limited the time you can put into things you enjoy away from your child? That's a really good question. I guess yes to both. I really believe that if you truly enjoy something, you will always have the time, regardless if you're a mom or not. But then again, you're limited in the time of day that you can do it. Nowadays, I usually do the things I enjoy doing during the day. Like when she's at school, I do take days off for myself. And I think it's really important to do that because yes, you have responsibilities, but being a mom, to me anyway, is not your sole identity. It's part of you, and it's okay to do things that you enjoy still. I think, like, especially in the past, there's this almost like expectation of a mother where you can't do certain things anymore because you're a mom. I really disagree with that. There's actually so much that mothers do people take for granted. And if they don't take care of themselves and do the things that they like, they will just get worn out. And I think that brings resentment over time, and that's not healthy. So that's why for me, I prioritize doing things for myself as well. But I also make sure that I cover my core responsibility. But then also, because you have limited time, you're able to actually appreciate the time when you do have it. I think a lot of moms can relate to this, but I didn't realize how much time I had before becoming a mom. You know, like, we take those time for granted, but when you become a mom, even 5 minutes, like 2 minutes, can really make a difference. And obviously I'm speaking from my experience here, but being able to do me outside of being a mom really helps fill my cup. So it makes me enjoy my time with my child more as well. And I'm able to focus on her more when I do have that time with her, because I'm not thinking of things that, you know, like, oh, I wish I could do this, or I really want to do that, but I can't do it. You know, like these things that can pop up in our heads, especially because while it's really fulfilling to be a mom, it can also be overwhelming, and that's okay. But yes, thank you for that question. It's a really, really good one. How have you learned to balance fitness and full-time job as a mom? Honestly, I literally had to force myself to do it. I think a lot of people assume that I just kind of bounce back after I've given birth, but that's not exactly the case. I know my genetics played a big part of it as well, and I'm acknowledging that. But I think the main reason why I lost weight that much postpartum was because of all the stress that I went through. I mostly did everything by myself, and it was lockdown at the time. I was going through a breakup. I also even had an infection. I hardly had any sleep. I was going through a lot of stuff. I didn't notice it at the time because I was just trying to focus on what I needed to do in that period. Essentially, I got to the point where I felt so weak, and Mia was growing bigger as well. I was struggling to carry her. As you know, if you're a mom, there's so many things to carry. Like, I'm just by myself. Obviously the pram helps, but sometimes the baby doesn't want to be inside the pram, so I have to carry her while pushing the pram. It was a struggle, and it just got to the point where something has to change. Just as when I noticed that, I happened to meet my friend in town. He's a personal trainer, and we started talking about like going to the gym, and that's how it started really. I trained with him for 3 months, but I remember initially I was I think after like the first or second day of training, I remember making up excuses in my head why I couldn't go, thinking, how could he possibly expect me to go back to the gym when my body is so achy? But somehow I managed to go back to the gym. I remember at the time I kept thinking like, I can't do it, and I kept saying it to him, I can't do it, too heavy. And he would say like, no, trust me, you can do it, just try one. And I tried. It was a struggle. I was in not pain, but I was achy. But I did it, and then I kept trying and I kept trying, and I was surprised that I could do it, so it made me want to do more. And then over time, especially after 2-3 months, I could see that my body was actually improving, and I also felt better. I felt stronger, and also because I have to agree a time with him in advance, it forced me to dedicate a certain time of my day to do exercise. So yeah, I built my discipline through that. Honestly, my initial focus at the time was just to build strength, so I'm able to do my daily tasks with ease. It definitely helped me over time to do that. But yeah, that's how I balance fitness and full-time job as a mom. You know, everyone is in different situations, but even like 5 minutes can really make a difference over time. From what I noticed, I think a lot of people get disheartened when they start their fitness journey and then they stop because they had to, whatever situation they're in, that they can't do exercise, and they feel they're not consistent anymore. To me, consistency doesn't mean you're doing it every day. It's more like pushing on regardless of what happens in between. So even if you have to start again, if you're still going, you build that resilience, and it doesn't mean you've lost your progress. Yes, you feel weaker the next time you start again, but your body is able to recover better because you've done those work before. So don't be disheartened if you stop your fitness journey at some point in your life. Just keep going. Like, I've definitely restarted so many times. I got ill, Mia got ill, school holidays. I got injured as well. Regardless of what happens to you, it's about focusing on what you can do in that period. And if you're really unable to exercise, then focus on other areas in your life. It's not the end of it all. You can start again. Okay, this last question, everyone seems to be interested. What's the hardest part dating as a mom, and what are the instant red flags you pick up? You know, I didn't really think of this at first, but there's guys that actually do fantasize being with a mom or have this whole MILF thing. I didn't notice it and didn't even think of it because it's not like there was a big difference for me anyway in terms of dating before and now. I think it's easy to attract people, and most of the time in the wrong ways. Like, a lot of guys do want to do the deed, but you know, the hardest part dating as a mom, I would say, is my availability. But also I find that it's only in certain people. I'm mostly free during the day, for example. But to me, it also depends on the people that you meet. There's also a lot of people as well that are okay with those times because of the work that they do. But regardless, I think if like someone's really interested, they would make time, and they do make time. And I guess also it's only hard when you don't know what you want and you don't know your boundaries. And I feel like now at this point of my life, I'm quite clear with what I need, my boundaries, and so it's not that hard for me. I'm honestly quite in a good place right now that I don't really see dating in that sense. To me, it's more like an extra thing. But I guess I'm speaking from a different space now. But before, the hardest part would be forcing that into my life where I don't have the capacity. So I removed it from my life. Yeah, but now it's like more if someone comes, like if the right person comes along and if they have good intentions, blah blah blah, then okay. But if not, I'm good. I'm actually good. What are the instant red flags you pick up as a mom? What I've noticed and learned is that I think generally people would consider a guy a green flag if he wants a family or kids, and especially if you don't have the experience, you tend to kind of fantasize that without questioning or realizing that they're saying it from a place of wanting. And the key word there is want. Have they considered other logistics? So yeah, that's just one thing I probably would advise mom who are dating to think about, and don't just jump into the conclusion that the guy is good simply because he wants a family and want kids. There's so much more than that. Like, find out how they want to raise the child, if you're aligned with like certain values you want to raise your child in. Judge him by how does he manage his life currently, how does he treat people in his life, especially his family. I think that's more important factor to consider than guys simply wanting like a family or kids. Like, what's his communication style like? Is he able to have hard conversations with you? Acknowledge your emotions, but also be logical, because this is just not your future husband, but they're gonna be your child's father. Everyone can be a dad, but not everyone can be a father. Thank you guys for watching. My mom keeps reminding me to do this, but if you do like my video, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.